Hello, good morning. My name is Elvira Kalmár, and today my conversation partner is Roxana Mocanu from Romania.
Hello.
Roxana, as we were preparing for this interview, we were having a conversation with the HR Fest people that what might be the topics that are really relevant nowadays for HR people. And one of the things we realized that in many companies, the learning and development budgets are getting tight at the moment because of the lots of uncertainty, because of the lots of cost cutting. And somehow my assumption is that mentoring will come out of the shadows. It's not a new thing, but it might have another opportunity to come out. And also it might be a great opportunity for HR to harvest all the good things that mentoring can bring into a company. And as you are the queen of mentoring in my eyes, I really would like to ask you, what do you see at the moment? How is the role of mentoring holds potential?
Okay.
And then we go carry on from there onwards, yeah?
Okay. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to meet your colleagues from HR Fest. I'm very keen to share some experience we have from here, from Romania. A little bit of context. We have just run a research among the HR and the learning and development people, and we get with this result that 84% of the organization we have asked about their plans for learning and development. They are about to freeze their budgets in the next period of time. So it's an impact of the anxiety coming from the previewed economical crisis. So as talking about the crisis, the HR could have to follow actually one of the two ways. Either the time of danger as protecting the people and saving the jobs and everything, either considering a time for opportunity and a time for opportunity to reinvent, to reposition. And reposition means to do a little distinction and separation between the operational, the tactical, and the strategic role of HR. I think it's a huge opportunity for the HR department, for the HR function, and for the HR practitioners to understand how to do that. So in the area of learning and development, and taking some wisdom from the previous experience we got, some of us, we still remember how we had to cross through the previous economical crisis. I know it was a financial crisis, a crisis of values and morale and everything. And we remember how we have discovered how can I say the resources, the learning resources we never consider into the organization. So we are looking for unused, sometimes unbelievable potential of learning, and we have unleashed these learning opportunities within the organization. And by that time, we named this, we labeled this as internal training academies. So it's the time now to add, if you want, a new module to that kind of solution, and this is mentoring and developmental mentoring. What we are doing, we are continuing to build the bridges between the generations. So the new normal we are building right now around this pandemic experience, and I repeat myself, could be a crisis, is that we were going through a global experiment as suddenly we moved from face to face and working together and in the offices and a lot of old values. We moved suddenly to work from home, and we wake up in the morning with all all our teams in a hybrid situation, or working from home or online or whatever, and we have to discover very quick what's all about. And
are you saying that this is actually the time for? I mean, we talk a lot about the opportunities of reverse mentoring, for example, and with the generational differences. Of course, we always talked about this as an opportunity for the younger generation to mentor in using digital tools and being in the online space, more for those who are not so used with that. So do you think that this can actually have even a bigger potential at the moment, as we are all working online?
It's their moment. So it's the young generation moment. And as you like to say, this is the queen of the day. The queen of the day is the young generation, the millennials, very digital generation. And we are learning a lot from them. Actually, in this transition from face-to-face to online, we learn a lot from the young generation. But as we faced a huge increase of engagement during that work from home period of time, the generations are positioning differently. So the millennials are still need for their social life, and are keen to meet people, and are keen to connect with their mentors, and they need how can I say, they need to know the direction, and they need continuous feedback from their bosses. Our generation, the X generation, are more happy to work from home, as they discover sometime they have to dedicate either for their families or hobbies or whatever. But we are together in this. And as I mentioned before, it's a big opportunity for the organization to reconnect the generation in a very healthy conversation. The conversation is about ourselves. Is a great opportunity for leadership to move to a new version of leadership, which is a kind of leadership 2.0, which means, how can I say, it's adding a human touch to technology. So I think it's our responsibility to take care of every individual of our team, and the mentoring will help us a lot, as in the mentoring relationship, we are building everything on trust, mutual trust, and confidentiality.
And are you saying with this that the leaders should mentor their team members, or are we actually pointing our arrows towards like agile teams where there is not a leader anymore, but we talk a lot about somebody should still have attention on the individual's learning needs? So is then maybe this is a solution that, I mean, I'm talking with lots of agile teams, and they having their product owners and chapter leads, for example, but whom they can talk about their own individual learning needs, whether it's professional or whether how they are moving around in the company. And this is, I think, also a great opportunity for mentoring, to find the knowledge that's already in the company and use that. And take off this responsibility slightly from the leaders as well, potentially, that they have to do this work one by one with every team member. If we think about this, Roxana, and we're making this video for HR people, what would be your advice for them to set up a successful mentoring environment?
Okay, so the question here is if there is something new about mentoring, considering this completely, new situation for us. And I think there is. So I would if I may, I would advise, I would suggest to move from the attention of leader from one-to-one relationship to one-to-team relationship, to one-to-end relationship, and to focus on the intelligence of the collaboration. So there is a collaboration intelligence quotient we can measure, and what we can do in order to support the leaders to run their, I know, hybrid online virtual teams, to focus on the relationship. So the relationship between the team members is the new team member of your team. Focusing on this and investing on the quality of the relationship and the conversation could raise the bar for the mentoring in your organization, and also gives you the tactical and the strategical role you maybe are looking for.
If I imagine that I'm one of the listeners of our video, and I think, oh my God, in our company there is no mentoring program. How do I start it? Okay. What would be the one thing you would say that pay attention or make sure you start it like this?
Okay, so the first and the most important thing is to define the scope of the program. As you have the scope of the program, and this is validated by the stakeholders, the most important people in the organization, you are gifting this program, if you're offering this program to them. You can align everything. You can identify the profile of the learners, of the mentees. You can design the profile of the mentors. You know, the clues on how to match the mentees and the mentors. You can establish the KPIs. It's very important also to evaluate the impact of the mentoring program. And that evaluation of the impact is very close connected with aligning the scope of the mentoring program to the strategic objectives of the organization. This makes mentoring a very important intervention, and is the intervention of our times. So it's a very powerful tool, learning tool in the hands of the HR people now.
And it reminds me also when, of course, I was working also in the learning and development department for quite a while. And I remember when we wanted to start our mentoring program, kind of our first idea was that, okay, so we don't have one big mentoring program in the company, but let's look around, because maybe there might be some people already doing some mentoring. So let's connect the mentors who are already mentoring, maybe voluntarily or maybe unorganized. And to much of our surprise, in an 8,500 members company or employee company, we found over 200 mentors. So I just would like also to point out that many times it's really in the shadows, and it's there because people are doing it. It's the most kind of practiced tool how we can develop other individuals. We do it since we were cavemen, actually.
Yes.
Yeah? And we know how to do it. So lots of people know how to do it and voluntarily do it. So I also would like to remind everybody, don't forget to look around and see what's already there. And another thing that just came to my mind as we are getting to the end of this recording is that, to much of my surprise, and this is also wonderful, that I see that head of HRs also looking out or looking for new ways of developing themselves. Mm-hmm. So just to talk about my own business as a consultant, I find that my coaching and organization development and design knowledge suddenly is becoming very relevant. So it's actually a new tool that I'm using also. And I have currently 2 or 3 processes actually just about to finish or running, where I'm mentoring head of HRs in their rethinking the function, rethinking what HR is doing or going to do after COVID. So it's not just something that we can do within the company, but everybody can also think about looking outside of the boundaries of the company and have a look where are the right mentors for the right topic?
Actually, what we've done here in Romania, and I would launch it as a challenge for Hungarian community, HR community. If you want to learn about mentoring, why don't you start with yourselves? So a few years ago, we have founded a mentoring program for the HR practitioners. The name of the program is HR Next Generation. And we have selected HR managers and directors in senior positions with international projects in their portfolio. And we invite them to mentor young people. As in Romania, HR is a very attractive, is a very, let's say, sexy role and job. And it continues to attract students and graduates and so on. We put in conversation this two generation with a lot of impact. So not only I can proudly name some of the young professionals now entering into the HR career by this next generation HRM mentoring program, but also I remember the huge quantity of energy unleashed by these programs. So what we are doing, we are using some technology. We need a platform, so it will be easy for the program manager to run this mentoring scheme. We are providing the train the mentors and train the mentees, and from time to time we organize sharing meetings with the mentors or between the mentors and the mentees in order to be sure that we are covering their development needs. And this is what you can do if you want to try mentoring and to try the potential of this.
What a wonderful idea, and what a wonderful challenge to think about and act about, because HR Fest has created such a huge community of HR people. So I guess really there is a lot of potential hiding there for us also. So thank you very, very much, Roxana, for this conversation. Keep up the good work in Romania, and hope to see you soon in person as well. So you heard Elvira, Kalmár, and Roxana Mocanu for HR Fest Online. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.